guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Naisha if you're new here, and in today's video I'm giving you a full face of TJMaxx and Marshall's makeup. Everything that's on my face was bought at TJMaxx or Marshall's at a way discounted price. They are brands that we know and love from Sephora and Ulta and Macy's and Nordstrom. Some of them pretty high-end brands, and we got them at a super discounted rate. But the makeup that ends up at TJMaxx and Marshall's, are they any good? Are they sending duds? Are they B products? Are they completely useless to anybody? Who knows? There are tons and tons of videos on YouTube about people going into TJMaxx, Marshall's, all these different stores, Burlington, and checking out all of the makeup that has been marked down, that has been sent to these companies. And, a lot of the times it's collections that have been in these stores, that have been in Sephora and Ulta only a couple months before. So is it any good? Is it worth your time to go on the hunt for these products? Are they any good? I'm obsessed with TJMaxx and Marshall's. I am in there at least once a week, sometimes more than that. I moved almost a year ago, and I moved really close to a TJMaxx, so that made my obsession even worse. I am there every other day at this point. And not only do I pick up like makeup and skincare, I buy like a ton of clothes for my kids. They have the cutest like home decor and organizational things. A lot of my organizational pieces for my makeup is from TJMaxx and Marshall's. The shelf is from TJMaxx. Lots of good things on clearance. So I'm always in there hunting to see what cool stuff that they have. And I always make a beeline to the makeup and skincare section to see what they have, because sometimes you get some really good finds. Like people have been finding Fenty. We find a lot of Marc Jacobs. Recently I've been seeing people finding Pat McGrath. I need to search a little bit harder because I haven't found any Pat McGrath, because I will snap that up in an instant. But anyway, the point of today's video is I went through my collection of I have a ton of makeup and skincare from TJMaxx and Marshall's. So I was able to pick out a full face, and we're going to put that full face on. We're going to see are these products any good. We're going to talk about why do these products end up in TJMaxx and Marshall's. What do we need to look out for? So if you're interested in seeing how I put this look together, all of the products that I use, some of them really high-end and originally expensive. Are they any good? I mean, you can tell for yourself from the look if you think it was good or not. And yeah, if you want to see like some of the goodies that you could probably find at TJMaxx and Marshall's and see how I put this look together, please keep on watching. Okay, so we're going to start with eyebrows as usual. And for eyebrows, I have a bunch of stuff. But the first thing we're going to start off with is the Benefit Brow Contour Pro. So it's, if you're, an 80s baby like me, you remember those pens from back in the day where you push down the different colors that you wanted. So there is the brow pencil. There's a darker shade, a lighter shade, a highlighter, a definer. So what's that? 4 different shades in the one pencil. The only annoying part is it doesn't have a spoolie, but that's fine. I'm going to go in with the darkest shade first. So you push the pencil down, and then you gotta turn it to push the pencil up so you can actually have a point to it. So it's a nice fine tip, and I'm going to use this to outline my brows. First I'm going to use a spoolie to brush my eyebrows up. I always do this before I line my brows. Then I'm going to take the darker color and just outline my brows, get that shape that I want. The Benefit brow products are some of my favorite. I always buy them when they're on sale, as I do most things. This, when it first came out, was not that exciting to me because 1, it doesn't have a spoolie, so that's annoying. And 2, I usually just use one fine tip pencil to outline my brows. This is very pigmented, very creamy. You can use this to just fill in your brow, and that'll be like really good. I mean, we're extra, so I'm going to do some other stuff. But this is very similar to the Precisely My Brow, which is my favorite brow pencil. But yeah, that worked really well. And I think if you're more of a minimalist person and you can just like take the darker part, or if you have more brows hairs than I do, you can take the darker side, fill in the back of your brow, take the lighter side, fill in the front, and then use the highlighters and definers to define your brows. I think this is a really good product, and it's normally probably closer to $30, but if you find it in TJ Maxx, it was $7.99. Next, I'm gonna fill in my brow with the Kat Von D 24-hour Super Brow Longwear Pomade, and it's in the color Walnut. It's a pretty deep brown. These are normally around 20 something dollars. I got it at Marshall's for $5.99. I like Kat Von D stuff as a brand in general. I know a lot of people canceled her. She's no longer with the company. It's now KVD Beauty or something like that. So we find a lot of Kat Von D products at Marshall's and TJ Maxx because they're trying to get rid of anything that has the branding that has her name on it. And then I'm just going to dip my brush right into the pomade, and I'm going to use that to fill in my brows. It's a very creamy product, not stiff at all, very pigmented. So I'm just going to stop right about there. And because they're calling this a 24-hour tattoo brow, it's leading me to believe that this is waterproof. So then I'm going to go back to my spoolie and like brush out a lot of the excess product because I don't want it to be like clumpy. And then we're going to take that product and kind of drag it forward to the rest of the brow. Back to the Benefit Brow Pencil, we're going to use the lighter shade, twist it up, and then we're just going to do some hair-like strokes at the front. And then for brow gel, I'm going to go in with the Urban Decay Brow Endowed in Dark Drapes. There's a double-sided brow gel. On one side we have the primer, which is nude, and the other side we have the brow gel that is dark. So just like a mascara primer, when you put this onto your eyebrows, it helps thicken them. So for somebody like me who has very thin eyebrows, it'll help thicken up the hairs. Like, coat them first before you go in with the brow gel. If you're lucky enough to have like more brow hairs, you can probably just go in with something like this. And then now I'm going to go in with the darker side, and it's going to grab onto those hairs, help my eyebrows look a lot thicker than they actually are. Okay, so that's it with the brows. These actually turned out really nice. They do look nice and thick and fluffy, and as you can see from before, I have 10 brow hairs, but now it looks like I have nice thick bushy eyebrows. Here for it. Okay, next we're going to go in with the light definition color of the brow pencil, and that's going to clean up under the brows. It's pretty light. We're going to have to definitely buff that out. Okay, I blended it out, but it's still pretty light, a little bit too light for me. But I'm going to go put on some eyeshadow primer because I don't have one from TJ Maxx, and I'll be right back. Okay, so before we start on the eyes, I'm going to throw on some of this Laneige sleeping mask. This one is in grapefruit. I got a trio. These are normally $20 each, and I got a trio, and the three of them were $22.99. $22.99 for the three of them, which is a really good price, since this by itself is $20. I love grapefruit citrus scented things. Absolutely love this. And the Laneige sleeping mask is one of my favorites. Okay, so for eyeshadow, we're gonna go in with this Too Faced Pretty Rich palette. This is what it looks like. Nice pinky with some blues, and these are pressed glitters in here. This is a pressed glitter. This is a pressed glitter. This one up here is a pressed glitter. So yeah, so we're gonna do something pretty, I guess, glittery today. I don't know, this palette was just calling to me today. I have so many palettes from TJ Maxx. I buy a lot of palettes from TJ Maxx. And I'm also going to use this e.l.f. brush set, one of my favorite sets, because the brushes are so nice and small. So I'm going to be incorporating these brushes. So first I'm going to start off with this color. It's Cashmere as a transition color. So let me know your thoughts on like makeup and skincare and like bargain shopping at TJ Maxx as a whole. For me, I don't mind it. I love it. If you can't tell already, I'm literally in TJ Maxx a couple times a week. Either TJ Maxx, Marshalls, or Home Goods. At least once or twice a week. If I don't go, I literally have to tell my husband like I have to get my TJ Maxx fix in. and he knows. Even if I don't buy anything, I have to go and see, you know, what's new and interesting, because they have the most interesting things. I love buying like storage and stuff for the house. This shelf compartment back here is normally like 20 something dollars. I got it on sale for like $8 or $10. Love looking at the stuff that they have on clearance, especially for the home. I literally just bought a planter. My daughter brought me home a little flower for Mother's Day, and I got the cutest little Ray Dunn planter that we put it in, and it's over there in the windowsill looking nice and cute. They have the cutest things. To me, it's like a mini Amazon in one store. Next, we're going to deepen up the outer V and the crease with Oh That's Rich, this nice reddish, dark reddish brown. So in terms of makeup and skincare, when you're shopping for these things at TJMaxx and Marshalls, you have to remember to keep into consideration how long ago were these things produced. So like, for example, if we were to see the Amrezy collab with ABH, I'm going way back to be obnoxious, but if we were to see like Amrezy's first collab with ABH in TJMaxx or Marshalls, then you already know that that palette was produced at this point, what, 5-6 years ago? So if you saw it in Marshalls, then you have to wonder, okay, this palette is already a couple years old, because, you know, they might have kept producing it depending on demand, but still, you know, they didn't make that just the other day. Something like this Pretty Rich collection, I think this is maybe 2 years old. And even after the collab, they probably kept creating it depending on demand. So, you know, it's safe to assume that this is just a couple years old. And it's powders. For the most part, powders, I don't mind if it's a little bit older. I think things like skincare or cream products, you might have to worry a little bit more about, and make sure that you know what the expiration date is, because, you know, those things are a little bit more perishable. For me, even if the palettes are a little bit older, once they're performing well, like obviously these eyeshadows are performing, you know, well, just like regular Too Faced shadows, I'm okay with it. This palette in particular is like in the 40 something dollars. I got it, it was on sale. I got it for $16. So, you know, that was the only way I was going to buy this, because there ain't no way. On the lid, I'm going to go in with this Set the Jewel Tone, and then the Silver Spoon, and I'm going to go over top with this glitter Diamond for Life. Another thing to take into consideration when you're shopping in like TJMaxx and Marshalls and these places is that not everything, I'm gonna spray my brush, not everything is old or something that was produced a while ago and there was overstock in there now and they're just trying to get rid of it. There are companies that actually produce products specifically for these overstock companies. Like, they will have one batch that's going to go to Sephora and Ulta, and another batch that's going to go to Marshalls and TJMaxx. They find ways to produce it at a lower cost. The packaging might be made somewhere else is a little bit cheaper. The formula might be a little bit different, just so they can keep the cost down and just so that they can put it in these overstock stores. And I know you're like, why do that? Why would a company do that? Because, you know, that makes your company look bad, because a lot of people look at the fact that if you're in an overstock company like Marshalls or TJMaxx, that maybe your product isn't doing well and that's why it ended up there. No. Have you ever gone to Marshalls and you saw something, you thought it was cute, and you're like, oh, I'll come back in a day or two, the line is too long, I'll come back tomorrow, I'll come back next week? It's never there. It's always gone. They sell so quickly. Something like this drops there and people realize like, oh, it's that Pretty Rich palette that used to be $49. Now it's at TJMaxx and Marshalls for $20. They run over there. So they know it sells. So they produce it at a lower price point. They put it in these stores and they make their money. And you know how we as consumers are, we just assume because it's cheaper, it's in these stores, that we're getting a bargain, and you know, that's how we think. Well, that's how I think. I can barely bring myself to buy something if it's not discounted somehow. Some sort of discount. Doesn't sit well with my soul. Okay, now I'm going to go into the glitter with my finger and just kind of tap it over top. I hope this looks good, because this glitter looks like sand. Yes, it's not really giving me. It's not really giving what it's supposed to give. It's giving a little bit of glitter, but I thought it would have been a little bit more impactful than that. But you know what? It's fine. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I have to go take my daughter to Kumon in an hour or two. So yeah, so I don't need to be strolling in there with, you know, glittery eyelids. Now I'm going to take this tiny smudge brush and smudge some of this black coal under pressure along the lash line. I don't have a liquid liner. I typically don't buy liquid liners because one, I get so many in my subscription boxes that I'm pretty set for a while. So stuff like mascaras, liquid liners, black eye pencils, I tend not to get those because I have a lot already. So I'm just going to use this shadow as a liner. It's very pigmented. I love this tiny little smudge brush, and the funny thing is this is a Marc Jacob brush. I got this at TJMaxx as well. I got a bunch of Marc Jacob brushes there. Recently I saw some of the cherry collection. The funny thing is once you see a specific collection come out, you can kind of already tell that, you know what, let me just wait. It'll be at TJMaxx and Marshalls eventually. For example, I'm waiting on that ABH face palette, the new ABH face palette. I'm waiting on that to get to TJMaxx and Marshalls because first of all, who's paying $58 for that? Not me. I love, you know, palette trios that work well for my skin tone, but $58? What are they smoking over there? I don't know. For lashes, I got the Pure X Barbie doll lash. I got this at Marshalls, $9.99. Normally with Pure lashes, they are $14. And then the glue is $8 or $9. So this is a $40 value, and I believe they probably had it for like 20 something dollars at Ulta at Pure, and I got it at Marshalls for $9.99. So I'm going to pop on one of these lashes using the glue. This glue, this Pure glue, is so good. And when it dries, it gives you a little bit of a blue hint, so you know that it's dry. I'm going to pop on these more fluffy ones here using the glue. I'm going to pop those on and I'll be right back. Okay, so eyelashes are on. The glue is still drying down. These are the Pure Hollywood lashes out of that pack using the Pure glue. Some of my favorites, one of my favorites. It really holds on. For a while there when I was using it, my eyes almost like they were too sensitive and they were like getting itchy on my eyelid. Today we have no issues. It's on, there's no itchiness, the lashes are on, no problems. Pure lashes are some of my favorite. I always buy them under a sale at Ulta. I went ahead and cleaned up under my eyes, the rest of my face, because there was some fallout from the glitter on the eyeshadow. So now let's start with the face. For primer, we're going to go in with the e.l.f. Moisture Lock Primer with hyaluronic acid. This is normally e.l.f.'s primers go for around $8 to $10. This one was at Marshalls for $2.99. Pretty decent size. I love the black sleek packaging, and it has a pump, which is great. Is this a nice white creamy primer. Feels nice and moisturizing on the skin, a little bit cooling, and smells pretty good too. Okay, now for foundation, one of the other things that you run into at TJMaxx and Marshalls in these places is the shade ranges are obviously not the best because it's not going to be stocked as well as like an Ulta or Sephora, so you kind of get what you get. Recently I have been finding foundations that are a little bit closer to my skin tone. So this one is the BH Cosmetics liquid foundation, and this is in the color golden beige, probably too light. And then I have the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Ultra Defining Liquid Makeup, and this one is in shade 7.75. Should be fine. So let me actually try this one first, the Naked Skin. I know this one is very, very liquidy, so you gotta be careful with it. And the sponge that I'm using is going to be this pretty blue sponge. This is an Isaac Mizrahi sponge. I got 3 in a pack for $5. I can't remember how much I paid for the foundation because I don't have the box or anything. I do believe I got this on clearance, so it's probably like $10. This is normally around 30 something, $40. Just going to squeeze some onto my face. I'm going to blend that in. Pretty lightweight. I know the new foundation that they came out with, which I have, is the replacement for this one. And I actually really, really like that one. This one looks pretty good on the skin too. A little light, but you know. So we got bronzer. Okay, so while this is obviously too light, it does have a pretty finish. It's more on the luminous side. For concealer, I'm going to use the Born This Way Naturally Radiant Concealer. So this is the old packaging. This is right before they came out with the one with the real long name, the multi-sculpting, whatever, that's basically in the fatter container to this. And, you know, they were getting rid of these. These were the older packaging, so that's how it ended up at TJMaxx and Marshalls, and that's what usually happens. So the same thing with the foundation. They upgraded that Naked Skin formula. So all of the ones that had the old packaging got relegated to overstock companies. So these are, like, with these cream products, these are some of the things that you're going to want to make sure if you want to check the expiration date and figure out, you know, if it's something that you want to use. Of course, you know, check the smell, see if the packaging has an expiration date. The good thing about a lot of these cream products is they don't start to go bad until you open them. So essentially, since it's been sitting there closed, it's a little bit better. But again, you still want to check and make sure. When I got these, they were super cheap. They were like maybe $5.99. I got this one and a little bit of a deeper one. For cream bronzer, I was actually pretty excited when I saw this. This is the Milk Makeup Matte Bronzer Stick in the color Blaze. As you can see, it's a pretty deep color that should work well with my skin tone. So we're just going to put that on. I've seen a lot of people use this and it seems really nice. Blend that out with the sponge to help bronze up the skin. It's pretty light, not light as in too light of a color, but very lightweight in the formula, and it's blending out pretty easily. Alright, now we're going to blend out the concealer. It's pretty lightweight, it's a nice color for me, not too much coverage, but it's a nice concealer. The newer version, the multi-sculpting yada 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 one, is a little bit more, it's a little bit fuller coverage. This sponge, by the way, is so soft, so nice, doing such a good job. And like I said, it was a pack of 3 for $5.99. I get so many sponges from TJMaxx and Marshalls. I think it's called Bungalow Beauty. Their sponges are so good, and to me, very, very close to the Beauty Blender. You know, I always say don't spend no $20 on a beauty blender, because you can get sponges that are much cheaper to do just as good, if not a better job than the beauty blender. I mean, if you want to spend $20 on a beauty blender, go right ahead, but I would say don't do it. Especially if you're a mom on a budget, don't feel the need to spend all this money on brand name stuff. Okay, and to set, I have the Milk Makeup Blur and Salt Matte Loose Setting Powder. I have the color Translucent Medium. I was so excited when I saw so many Milk makeup products. It comes with this little sponge. I'm probably not going to be using that. I'm going to be using the sponge. Has a little lip at the top so you can open it up. There is a little mesh on the inside to help the powder from spilling out. Okay, already I'm not a fan of this mesh, because essentially when you bounce on the mesh, some of the powder is coming up, but not a lot is coming up on the sponge. So that's a design flaw I'm not a fan of. You can't really get it out into the cap. That's annoying. I mean, my under eye is getting set. Very, very little powder is coming out. My under eye is getting set. It's looking nice and blurred. No complaints there. Maybe they're trying to tell me something and maybe I shouldn't be using that much powder. Who knows? But this little mesh thing is a no for me. I'll be honest with you, I'm probably going to cut that mesh thing. It's not working for me. But again, the tiny bit of powder that I'm getting out that is setting my under eyes is actually looking pretty. It is pretty smooth and blurred, but it's just a struggle to get the powder out of the packaging. Look, when you dip you have to dip it into the little mesh thing, and then some powder is coming up on the sponge, but not a lot. And it's just kind of poofing everywhere. Yeah, they need to work on that design for sure. To set the rest of my face, I'm going to go in with this CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Powder. This I believe was about $2.99. This is normally like $10-ish at the drugstore. I know they discontinued this CoverGirl Healthy Vitalist line, so you know, when things are discontinued, they end up at these kinds of stores. They're really just trying to get rid of the excess overstocked excess product. So I'm just gonna dip my big old fluffy brush in there, and I'm just gonna dust this over the rest of my face. I really liked the CoverGirl Healthy Vitalist foundation. That one looked really nice on the skin. It's really unfortunate that they decided to discontinue it. Normally at this point I would say we dust off any of the excess setting powder, but since we barely got any setting powder on us, there's not much to dust off. For bronzer, and the packaging is a little messy because I've been holding it this whole time, we're going to go in with this NARS bronzer, and it's in the color Falazes. and this is the color. I was super excited when we were starting to see so much NARS at TJMaxx and Marshalls, because there's some luxury products that you really never get. They barely ever go on sale, or you never see them in these types of stores. So I'm just gonna get my brush in there and start bronzing up the skin. Let's see how this looks on my skin tone. Oh, that's nice. That is nice. Oh man, that's nice. That's a really nice, smooth, warm bronzer. I love a good warm bronzer. That's a really good color for my skin tone. Definitely helping with this foundation. That was a little on the light side. Anyway, as I was saying, I'm always happy when I see brands like NARS, these higher end brands, you know, get the TJMaxx and Marshalls. Back in the day, like, you would never see stuff like NARS on sale, but I think with the competition these days, there's so many different brands and they have to keep pumping out the products in order to keep us entertained, that a lot of things are ending up in these stores. Not everything is getting sold, so you know, they have to make their money somehow. And then also, a lot of these products don't come directly from NARS or these companies. It probably comes from, you know, Ulta. You know, at the end of the season they have a lot of stuff and they send it to these types of stores. Okay, I really like this bronzer. This is definitely a new favorite. This looks beautiful. And look, all of a sudden now I have color back. For highlight, we're gonna go in with this Pixie by Petra Glowy Gossamer Duo in Delicate Dew. I already took the packaging off for this one, so I can't remember how much I paid for it, but I think this is around anywhere between $15 and $20 at Target. Pixie's a little bit up there. I'm gonna take this darker color and we're gonna highlight. Pixie's usually not so bad. That was probably, you know, $7.99. That is a really pretty highlighter. Not too glittery. It's pretty bright, not too icy, not bad at all. For blush, I'm not quite sure if this is gonna go with this look, but I have another NARS palette. This is the Motu Tapu face palette, and it has a, you guys know how I love these types of palettes. So it has a bronzer, blush, and highlight. This bronzer looks like it will work really nice for my skin tone. A little bit on the cooler side, but I don't mind it. But I want to jump into this blush. Go right here. Of course, we know this is going to have good pigment. It's NARS, and that is a beautiful blush. Really good pigment, nice color. I forgot to mention the NARS bronzer. Those bronzers are usually around $38, $40, and I believe I paid $19.99 for the bronzer. And then this palette is $40 something, and I believe I paid either $20 or $24 for it. Which for NARS, which doesn't usually go on sale in the stores themselves, you know, these days we're seeing a lot more stuff on sale. Of course, like I said, because of competition and them having to churn out new products a lot more often than they used to. We're getting stuff on sale, so getting this at $24, I thought that was a really good price. I love stuff like this. As you know, the trio that works on my skin tone. The packaging is so pretty, the products are so pretty. So excited for this one. Now to set the face, how cute is this? This is the Pretty Vulgar Lock It In Set in Stone Makeup Setting Spray. And you know, Pretty Vulgar, they have that very vintage girly look about them. They're all about the birds, so they have this, you know, it looks like what's called an aspirator. Look, you can even squeeze it, like, you know, back in the day, like the little perfumes. This is such a cute bottle. This is perfect for like displaying, if you want to display it. I think it's super cute for that. But of course, the way you use it, you take that cap off and it's just a regular setting spray. So we're gonna set our face with this. Okay, that had a nice spritz. It smelled very nice and floral. I don't see any splotches on the skin. It had a really nice spritz. So we have a nice sort of dewy look going right now. So let's finish up the eyes. I'm just gonna smudge these two mattes under the lower lash line. Then I'm actually gonna go in with this peachy gold on the inner corner and the brow bone, because I think that's gonna tie in the peachy cheeks. That color actually has glitter in it, so I'm not going to put it on the brow bone. I'm actually going to go in with this gold Don't Care At All. And lastly, for the lips, I have this trio Lorac X Rachel Zoe. This came out, I can't remember if it was last holiday or the holiday before that, but she had a curation with them, and there was this lip trio. I love lip trios. And it's a lip liner, a lipstick, and a lip gloss. And I believe it was around $25, and I got this for like $7.99 for all 3 products. So this is going to be our lip today. If the lip liner is too light, which I suspect it might be, I'm probably going to throw on a darker lip liner. And we have the lipstick's a beautiful color. And then the lip gloss. The lipstick doesn't seem matte, it seems a little bit more satin. But still, we'll go over with a little bit of lip gloss right in the middle to give us a little bit more pout and make sure we're nice and juicy. Okay, so this is where we are with the look. I'm gonna go finish things up, mascara, liner, fix my hair, look a little bit more decent, and I'll be right back. Okay guys, and here I'm back with the finished look. So my earrings are little bears, look like little gummy bears. They are Betsy Johnson. I also got those at TJMaxx. They were like $12.99. She has the cutest, quirkiest little pieces, and of course I wore this because it goes with my Savage dress. This is my second or third day twist out hair, so it's a little frizzy, but you know, we're still going with it. And you know, this is our finished look. We got a little bit of a blue glitter going on. I did go on a little bit of a darker lip liner on the lips to help it define it a little bit more, because I like when my lip liner is a little bit darker than the lip product. It gives me a better definition, especially for me since my lips are a little bit of a darker hue. Okay, so all in all, listen, all of the products that I got, I really enjoyed them. Nothing I can really say was a dud except for the packaging of the milk powder. The powder itself did a really nice job to set my face. The foundation is a little bit hit or miss with the foundation because one, there's not a huge shade range, and two, you know, unless you're lucky and you know your shade in a particular foundation, you're able to find it there. But then two, it's not like you can like test it and swatch it and see what your color is. And then of course right now with COVID, they're not taking in returns of beauty products, of course, if you use it. Some of the standout products for me were of course the NARS cheek palettes, the bronzer, absolutely love it. The blush, I love it. The lip products, very beautiful. I love this sort of a nudie pink look. The eyeshadows perform like typical Too Faced shadows. They were really nice. Love the setting spray. I love the packaging of it. It is so cute. The Pixie highlighter was really nice. The e.l.f. primer was really nice. Let's just say overall, I don't think I got any major duds. I think I got a lot of good stuff. I love shopping at TJMaxx. I really do feel like the products that you get there for the most part are on par with the products that you would get at Sephora, Ulta, Macy's, or any other retailer. A lot of the times pretty themed collections, for example like the Pure and Barbie collection, you will find pieces ended up in TJMaxx and Marshalls because you know it doesn't have a very long shelf life in our brains in terms of after a couple weeks we're like, okay, we're over this, we're on to the next thing. So for the extras that they have, you know, they're already sold enough to make their profit, trust me. So whatever is left over and they send it to these companies, I rather just wait till it gets there. Like some very themey, like some of the, I see like a lot of Marc Jacobs are ending up there. Like I saw a couple of things from the Cherry collection this morning. So I know that coffee and cream collection is probably going to end up there pretty soon. And I saw a lot of Marc Jacobs on sale, like literally everything. Marc Jacobs was on sale in Sephora when I went in the other day. So I think we're going to keep seeing a lot more Marc Jacobs. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this full face of TJMaxx and Marshalls makeup. I literally have more than enough to do this again. So if you really enjoyed this, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Let me know. I'll do this again sometime in the near future. If you enjoy these videos and chit-chatting about bargain makeup and overstock makeup and all that stuff, definitely give this video a thumbs up. Leave all your thoughts in the comments. Thank you as usual so much for watching all the way through to the end. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.